Hello everyone, Teacher Teresa here from VIP Kid, Go Go Kid, and Class Talk. Today I wanted to talk about spelling. Spelling can be so boring for students if you just give them a word and have them spell it. Now for the lower level students, that's perfectly fine. They're still learning those letter recognition and hearing sounds and spelling them. So for them it does make sense to do that, and for our older students too. But we can go beyond that. We don't have to do that every single time there's a spelling slide. Because if you do the same thing every day, day after day, guess what? It's really boring. And who wants to sit in a boring VIP Kid class? The student doesn't want to, I don't want to, and you don't want to either. So we can come up with some other ways to use spelling, those spelling slides, the ones that just have a chalkboard on them and you're just expected to have the student spell the word. So one activity I really like is, let's say that the word is cake. Let's say the word's cake. I could ask the student to write the word cake and then just wait for them to write that word, and then, yeah, that could be it. Or let's not do that. We can, if it's an older level student, I'm gauging the level 3 and up here. I'm thinking of a word that is something that we like to eat. It is very sweet, and we bake it in an oven. Which one of our sight words am I thinking about? Spelling words. Sorry, I would have said spelling words. And the student's going to think about that. We just went over the spelling words on the previous slide because you always do practice with those words right before that spelling slide comes up. So they should be able to think back to the previous slide and say, oh, cake. Great. Can you write the word cake? And then they can. And when you ask them to write that word, ask them to say the letters C-A-K-E so that you can hear them spelling that out loud. Because sometimes even our older students will mispronounce letter names because they haven't practiced those in a long time, because we usually just have them write, scroll, and go on their merry way. So they haven't practiced them in a while, and it's good to refresh that. Something else you can do is this. Which word is that? Good. Can you write cake? Great job. And sometimes they might forget those. You don't always have to just leave out the vowels. I mean, that's a common way to do it. But you could leave out those consonants or throw in a vowel and some consonants, however you want to do it. You can also play hangman. Hangman is a great game for spelling. I had to make sure I put the right number of dashes. So you can play hangman. That's a great way to practice spelling. You can type out a word in the chat box that is similar to the vocab word or spelling word that you're thinking of, and say, do you know which word is similar? And then have the student write that vocab word that is similar to the word that you wrote. That I can't think of any examples off the top of my head at the moment, but I know there are words that are similar to some of our sight words and vocab words that we can use for practicing spelling. You can also tell the students a word, like, I'm going to stick with cake. Cake stuck in my head. Maybe I really ought to bake a cake. I can say, can you pick one of our spelling words and give me clues so I can draw a picture of what you're thinking of? And the reason this is great is not just because they're practicing spelling, because we're not just practicing spelling now, we're also practicing direction giving, and I think that's something that sometimes students lack, is the ability to give someone else directions. So, the student might say, draw a plate, draw a rectangle, and then I'll say, oh, what is it? And then let that student say cake, and then I'll say, yeah, it's good, cake. How do we spell cake? And then they'll spell cake, and we had a fun game. Another way you could do this is you could take a dice and you could draw pictures of objects on that. You could throw it in the air and show them the picture related to this word that you're trying to spell, and then have them write that word that matches the picture and tell you the word and spell the word. Those are just a few. I'm sure there are many more ways that you can come up with. And if you have any fun ways to play spelling games or come up with fun spelling activities, please share them in the comments section. I'll see you next time. Bye!